Hello, everyone. So today we'll talk about the course Project Management. This course provides participants with concepts and approaches for developing a partnership between various facets of the project management space. Referencing specific challenges within their own context, this course provides methods to build a synthetic, functionally harmonious relationship that maximizes the business value these roles produce for the organization. This course will teach techniques for ensuring project success every step of the way, from identifying potential, defining scope of work, mastering requirements, requirement gathering techniques, while considering the unique needs of various stakeholders. But before we move on to the course details, a little about who we are. We at GuruSchools are one of the leading IT consulting firms, and we are the go-to place for all participants' IT needs. We provide consulting, outsourcing, and IT training services. Our course offerings and our overall firm is built on our six pillars. These six pillars are essentially the core of our being. The first one being instructor-led training sessions. All our training sessions are live training sessions by industry experienced professionals, wherein which these trainers have a track record, which provides a good overview of the respective technology and course at hand. The second one is certification. On successful completion of the course, the participants are awarded with a completion certificate. Um the third one being resume preparation. So, in addition to providing technical and functional knowledge to the participants, we also assist the candidates with preparing their resume so as to ensure that they're ready, for all interviews and future job opportunities. We also assist the candidates with the interview preparation for both vendor interviews as well as client interviews. The last but not the least, we offer project support, which will be an ongoing project support and technical assistance to the candidates. Before we dive deep into what the course essentially is all about and what does it entail to cover, a little bit about what is project management. Project management is essentially the practice of applying various skill sets, knowledge and tools and techniques to project activities so as to meet the stated project requirements and achieve specific goals. Project management essentially involves planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the various organizational resources to bring about the successful completion of a project. What do we intend to achieve, out of this particular course? So, as I said, project management is a very critical and essential function in any organization because it helps organizations to achieve their goals effectively and efficiently. Uh, some reasons why project management is that important function is because it provides clarity in the goals and objectives. It ensures that all the resources are allocated in a very effective and efficient way. It assists in providing risk management to the firm. There's improved communication between various stakeholders. It ensures timely delivery of the project at hand. The project can be delivered within the stipulated budgets and ensuring that there's quality control at play. It helps the organization solve a lot of its problems vis-a-vis the project management. There's better coordination amongst all teams. And ultimately, what do firms achieve by implementing effective project management is customer satisfaction. This course will be divided across 8 weeks, where in this entire span of 8 weeks, We will deep dive into all individual facets of project management, understanding, about the various resources, about the allocation, about the various best practices within the project management space. The first week, we begin with understanding a few basics of project management. What are the key differences and essentials between project, portfolio, and program management? What are the differences when it comes to each of these three? What essentially means with PMO, in the sense that if there is a project management office within an organization, what functions or what key responsibilities does this team perform? How does the organizational structure of a firm play a very important role within project management? Who are these entities called the project sponsor, the various stakeholders, the various teams? And last but not the least, a little bit about what is the project life cycle all about. Once we equip ourselves with all these basics in place, we'll be able to dive deeper into week two onwards, into understanding, all about what is integration and scope management. When we talk about project management, we essentially begin with understanding what is the scope of the project, what are we looking to integrate essentially. And To understand this particular phase of project management, it's important for us to understand what is a project charter and what are the assumptions that will define this project charter. What are the various data gathering methods that people deploy as part of project management? What is a change management plan and why is it important for every project to have one? What's the scope and what are the various requirements that we're covering as part of the project? What is a work breakdown structure? How does one go about creating it? And then also understanding that how are we validating and controlling the scope that we've defined as part of the project. Once we have clarity on this phase, we move on to week three, where we talk about cost and quality management. This area of project management is important because ultimately, what we're trying to achieve in a particular project doesn't have unlimited resources of cost at hand. There is obviously a budget within which the project needs to be achieved. So we'll have to understand and look at how do we estimate project costs before we actually begin the project. How do we go about ensuring that we are controlling the stipulated budget and we're ensuring that the costs are controlled within that budget. We will learn about what is the basic earned value concept. We will also look at various methods and techniques of managing and controlling quality. We will also look at understanding what is the sequence of activities that one follows as part of the entire process of cost and quality management. In week four, we will look at the other important area, and that's going to be resource and communication management. All said and done, whatever happens within a project, if that is not effectively communicated to the various stakeholders, everything in the project really doesn't serve its purpose. So we will look at essentially what are the various communication models, that one can deploy. What are the various communication methods that one can utilize? What are the various respective advantages and disadvantages of these communication methods? Obviously, when there are multiple people and stakeholders involved in a project, there will be conflicts. It's inevitable with the scale of people and varying opinions that one has. We will also learn how does one effectively deal with such conflicts. We will then look at understanding what are the various organizational theories around resource management, and how can one essentially work on having an effective team in place. Um, in week five, we will understand risk management as an activity and as a process. Because ultimately, every project will have certain risks in place. And if there are risks, we will also have to learn how to mitigate them, how to avoid them, and how to effectively manage them as well. So we will learn certain basic concepts within the risk management space. What's the respective categorization of each of the risks that we've listed down? How do we identify these risks? How do we monitor these risks? And last but not the least, also, analysis of these risks from a qualitative and quantitative perspective will also be important to put certain metrics in place. In week 6, we will look at procurement and stakeholder management. Within this space, we will understand, what are the various contracts and agreements that will have to be, discussed and detailed out as part of any project. What is the role of a project vis-a-vis a procurement manager? How does the procurement manager go about conducting and controlling procurements? How do we identify various stakeholders in our project so as to ensure that we communicate with all of them effectively? We will also look at using the stakeholder register. And last but not the least, we will also look at managing stakeholder engagement because ultimately, at the end of every project, we want all our stakeholders, to be happy with the performance of the project, and we want to ensure that that communication is effectively done. Moving on to week 7, we will essentially look at what is agile project management. Why do we need agile essentially? How has agile evolved as a project management technique? What are the various popular approaches, within the agile space? Techniques like Lean, Kanban, Scrum, extreme programming, and scaled agile framework are some of the approaches that we will discuss and learn about. We will also, kind of look at the concept of manager versus a leader. What are change models and how they, what's the role that they play within the project management space? And last but not the least, what is the role of a business analyst and why is it a very critical function? The last week, we will look at, now that we've got a very brief overview and an idea of, what project management all essentially is about, we will look at, how does one go about selecting the most optimum project life cycle. In order to do that, we will have to firstly understand how does one consider uncertainty and risk. We will look at various life cycles like the predictive life cycle, the iterative life cycle, the incremental one, the agile one, and the hybrid one. While we understand these various life cycles and their respective advantages and disadvantages, we will also look at their features to understand how does one go about choosing the most suitable life cycle for the project at hand. Because essentially choosing the correct approach and the life cycle for the project is of paramount importance. With this, we conclude, the course and all the details, that are required for it. In case there are any further queries that either of you all have, feel free to reach out to us, via various email addresses. We also, have a presence on social media in terms of our YouTube page, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So feel free to reach out to us on any of those mediums as well. Thank you everyone for your time and have a great day ahead.